Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build good? Will it better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned when we Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build good? Will it better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? When we pay it forward, it will be returned. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build good? Will it better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? When we pay it forward, it will be returned. When we pay it forward, it will be returned.
Alka, unmute yourself, please. Unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
We can.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all our esteemed guests and fellow Rotarians. It's truly a pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of Women in Rotary International WhatsApp group. Today, of course, you're going to be enlightened by on this very important topic of Rotary uniting literacy in the world. And so over to Julia, who will be telling us more details on this very important topic, and wishing all our friends and fellow Rotarians in India a very happy Mahashivratri. Navratri, sorry.
Thank you, DG Alka.
Well.
Thank you very much for your great wishes direct from United States. And from my end also, I wish everyone a very happy Navratri, this auspicious time in India where we worship 9 goddesses, powerful goddesses. And I believe that power of each goddesses lie within us. We have to just look inside and bring that power outside. Thank you very much. So on this, just give me a second, please. All right. Thank you very much once again. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, friends from different parts of the world, and warm welcome to our all coordinators video group here to talk about literacy in your country. So we are going to learn from each other, and we see where Rotary is, how Rotary is bridging gap, and we can put our bit. As you know, everyone know that women, Rotarian women are working very hard. Before, what I realized, before the formation of Viri group, nobody knew it, that how much these women are working. They were working at their own end. After having this Viri group, we brought all this talent at one platform. So even I learned that like DG Alka, I could say DG Dolly in Singapore, Anju from India, from Mauritius, Wanda from Indonesia, Raja, Chartered President from Singapore, all of them are working a lot and we are learning different projects from them. So that's a strength and that's a power of our very group, to have a women in Rotary International group where we can exchange many ideas and exchange our expertise. So today's meeting is on Rotary uniting the world in literacy. This year, RI President's one of the focus area is girl empowerment and literacy. And on October 11th, the International Day of the Girl Child is a global observance declared by the United Nations to promote girls' empowerment and the fulfillment of their human rights. There are 5 most challenging places to grow up a girl today. This is based on the lives of girls around the world. The main challenges what a girl child or a woman faces are violence, education, health, economic, and empowerment. In this meeting today, we are going to talk on education, literacy, as we all know that education is essential to women's future. So we need to focus on keeping girls in school. As Rotarians, we are working to increase their access to learning throughout their lives and keep them in school. We Rotarians working very hard with girls and women to make them read and write so they can understand their rights, help themselves to make healthy choices, protect themselves from violence, and come out as a leader. Through several Rotary programs, we teach girls to build their important life skills, including decision-making and developing trust and friendship. And we know that when empowered, women and girls can be forceful agents of positive change, but that they are not always heard and rarely recognized as leaders. We Rotarians are working hard under DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, to change harmful gender norms to create more equal communities and putting girls front and in the center. In the last, I just want to say one line. Literacy is a bridge from misery to hope. So continue, dear ladies, your efforts in your surroundings, in your schools, to bridge this gap between misery to hope through this literacy tool. So friends, without taking much time of yours, let me take you to our very group coordinators who will share the status of literacy in their respective countries and how we can learn from each other. So on this, I would like to invite our first coordinator, Rotarian Marcela from Brazil. I request my IT team to put a spotlight on Marcela. Marcela, over to you. Yeah.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Como falo português, gostaria de convidar a minha companheira associada do Rotaract para fazer a minha interpretação, ok? Raquel, por favor.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Today I'll be speaking on behalf of Marie Claire from Brazil. So she's going to speak in Portuguese, which is our language, and I'm trying my best to translate her. Thank you very much.
Obrigada, Raquel. Gostaria de agradecer a oportunidade e o convite feito pela Júlia. Me sinto honrada em participar desse grandioso grupo de mulheres tão espetaculares que possuem um trabalho muito importante dentro do Rotary ao redor do mundo.
First of all, we'd like to thank for inviting us. Julia, thank you very much for inviting us to share a little bit about our project and our work. And we admire you guys so much. And it's an honor for us to be here and seeing your work around the world and be a part of it and trying to contribute in some way. So thank you very much.
Eu achei que a minha dificuldade na pronúncia do inglês seria um obstáculo, mas eu não quis de modo algum abandonar esse grupo, que eu tenho aprendido muito, e acho que para mim foi uma das maiores conquistas dentro do Rotary, conhecer todas vocês.
Marie Claire says that she thought that her pronunciation and her English would be like an obstacle for her to be here today. So I'm here to try to help her. So, but she didn't want to miss the opportunity to be here with all of those women that she admires so much. So she's very happy to be here, even if we do not speak perfectly the English. So thank you very much again.
E é com muito orgulho, com muita honra, que eu gostaria de apresentar o nosso trabalho de alfabetização aqui em nossa comunidade, tanto do nosso Rotary Club, quanto também dos rotaractianos que fazem parte do nosso clube.
So now we're trying to present a little bit of our work in literacy, and we're going to present very respectfully to all of you. And we're going to present not only the Rotary Club project, but also the Rotaract, which I'm Raquel, am part of it. So we're going to present a little video about the work we were doing in Literacy Matter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Marcella, do you want us to play video? Are you going to do that?
Você vai colocar o vídeo? Ou você gostaria que a Júlia colocasse o vídeo?
Se a Júlia puder colocar, eu agradeço, porque não estou localizando, estou nervosa.
Se você puder, eu já ia falar em português. If you could please, Julia, if you could please play the video, it would be easier for us.
Renu from IT team, please play their video. Thank you.
Club of Marília Pioneiro was founded in 1996, bearing the name Pioneiro, which means pioneer, for being the first in the whole district to have women as members. In these 26 years of work, the Rotary programs have been carried out, helping many people in the community of Marília, state of São Paulo, in Brazil. In this current administration, during the Literacy Month, the club purchased around 350 books to set up a library that will benefit around 700 children and around 12,000 people from the community with literacy and reading programs. In addition to the library, in this administration, the club will also promote the Adult Literacy Project, and we already have about 30 adults willing to be part of it. This project will have the support of the club and the local public administration as well. Finally, besides the literacy and reading programs, the club has also been working side by side with the community, promoting reforestation programs with tree planting, forest formation, and urban afforestation. All programs are carried out with the community and with the children who we believe are the future of the country. DAPT, our preparatory class project. Bearing in mind the impossibility of meeting students and teachers in person for the preparatory class, we reformulated the project aiming to deliver digital and printed material to those students who do not have access to the internet and who will still be preparing for national exams. Thus, with the collaboration of several teachers, we created a preparatory booklet with exercise focused on the National High School exam. Besides that, we also offered other study options and a channel for students to ask questions about the exam. In 2021, we will include around 300 public high school students in Marília and its region, as we believe that education is
Muito obrigada, Júlia. Agradeço pela oportunidade de estar apresentando o trabalho nosso aqui no Brasil.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to share our work here in Brazil with you guys. If you have any questions about the work, you can ask us.
Thank you, Rotarian Rakil. I request our audience participants to put their questions for the Brazil in the chat box. We will take it, these question answers later, end of the all presentations. Thank you, Marcela. It was a fantastic video and the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now I request our coordinator from Ghana, Rotarian Baptista. Baptista, are you there? She was. Baptista, I request our IT team to please play Ghana's presentation. She is gonna talk along with that as she is traveling.
Sure, I'm doing.
Baptista, it's your turn. Baptista, unmute yourself and over to you.
Great. Okay, good afternoon to you all. My name is Rotarian Baptista from Ghana. I'm on wheels, so sorry I'm not putting on my video. So this is the Women Rotary Uniting the World in Literacy. So for us in Ghana, we're super excited to be part of this initiative. Could you flip to the next slide? So I am with For Real HR Services and I manage the organization as the Chief Executive Director. So for us in Rotary in Ghana, you could see a lot of the dynamics. Next slide, please. Rotary in Ghana is doing so much to support illiteracy. So for those of us who may not be aware, Ghana is part of District 9102, which is in Zone 22. So for the district, the latest statistics there to help us. For 2021, we have a total number, 71% being male, and then 29% being female. That is for the district. And when you look at that vis-a-vis the global Rotary statistics, which is 78 to 24%. So Ghana in Zone 9102 is part of Benin, Niger, and Togo. So for this Rotary year, our DG is DG Rufin from Benin. And for last Rotary year, we have DG Yvonne Kumoji Dak, who was the first female DG who was a Ghanaian. So thank you for the opportunity to contribute to this program. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. So when we look at the issue of literacy, Rotary is doing so well to support the issue of literacy. That is why it is very important for us to understand that. And what is Rotary's role? Looking a bit as the historic perspective, you would agree with me that the world population has increased drastically. And as a result, over the couple of centuries, a lot has changed in the area of literacy. When we look at the statistics from 1820, it tells us only 12% of the people in the world by then could read and write. So we are very excited as Rotarians to be proudly displaying what we are doing because we've contributed to solving a very big challenge in the world now, which is in the issue of literacy. So for now, as at the year 2016, the statistics tells us 14% of the world's population still remain illiterate. So if we keep doing what we are doing as Rotarians, very soon the statistics will tell us we have a global world that is literate. And that is what we envisage to see. So more children now are enrolled in schools now than before, but the difficulty is that most of them are really not learning. And data available from the UNICEF's multi-indicator cluster survey showed us that many of the children around the world today are not equipped with what we call the foundational reading and numeracy skills that will prepare them from the world beyond schooling. So that is where Rotary comes in. So what are we continuing to do as Rotarians to help address this issue? So in case you are still thinking in the area of literacy, these are things you may want to consider between now and going forward because of the COVID pandemic and all that. Foundational reading and numeracy skills is very important. Information technology skills are important. More of youth and adult literacy, because now the world is moving online and now everything is getting online as a cash cow. So even if you're educated, but you cannot join a meeting as Zoom online, then you could see that the level of education will still not take you to propound you to success. So these are things we should be excited about as Rotarians, because Rotary fraternity, the Rotary environment, makes it very easy for everybody to understand and follow these. But trust me, a lot more people do not have this opportunity. That is why we need to help them. So you see Rotary Club of Tema Community 25 in pictures, where we've undertaken a number of literacy projects to help. We distributed exercise books to the deprived community. For now, we are constructing a washroom, 8-unit washroom for a school in Zenu, which is the Zenu cluster of schools. Most of the kids get to school and they do not have access to a washroom. Meanwhile, they have a washroom which is taken over by the community. So the club came in to provide us support. And there are several other communities that Rotary clubs are doing a lot to support. Let's go up north to Ghana and we'll look at a 50-year-old Rotary Club of Tamale, which recently donated stationaries to the Salaga Basic School. And then if we get to the Rotary Club of Adenta, they've also donated computers to some team. And then we have some girls coding projects, which is also ongoing. So these are a lot of things the clubs in Ghana are doing to support the issue of literacy and how we could turn the turn of time. So thank you all for the opportunity. Ghana is doing so much to support the call for literacy, and we hope together Rotary can do a lot to help us change the narrative. Thank you for the opportunity, Julia. Over to you once again. Thank you, bye.
Thank you, Rotarian Baptista. That shows the commitment of our Rotarian women. We have so many Rotarian women here today who are into multitasking at this point of time. Rotarian Baptista is one of that example. She is on the road traveling from one town to another for another task, and she represented her country where literacy is starting. It's a huge gap. Ghana, we learned today, is 40% plus 41. Yes, we need to work a lot. Rotary is there. Anything from India, we are with you, Baptista. Thank you very much. Now I request our another coordinator from Bali, Indonesia, Rotarian Wanda, over to you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So my name is Wanda from Bali, Indonesia. Well, our district 3420 in Indonesia is really, really big, because Indonesia, we have 17,000 islands. So it's really big. And the problem of the literacy that we have is especially at the east of Indonesia. So may I have my presentation, please? Can somebody help?
Sure, Wanda.
So in a big city, actually, it's not really big problem. But one of the interesting things that we are going to share is in Kupang. Kupang is in east of Indonesia. Next, please. So in Kupang and also in Indonesia, if you want to go to school, then you have to have a birth certificate without the birth certificate, you cannot go to school. Unfortunately, that's the government's requirements for the children to go to school. And because most of the children in Kupang or East Indonesia, they don't have a birth certificate, they don't have access. So next, please. So we start having doing the educations at the place where people throw away the rubbish. So we collect the people, we collect the children, and in a room and in a house, and we educate them. So there are several teachers voluntarily come every day, morning, afternoon, and evening. So 3 seasons, giving the education to the children from the ABC. So from very basic one. So that's what we call it by basic education and literacy. So from the very basic one. So the children, they come to learn, and unfortunately, because they are so poor, they don't have even any books. Next, please. So now we are trying to help them by getting more and more people, more teachers, and then more places to educate the children. Next. So we are having more classes with Rotarians, Rotarators, and Interactor as a teacher. So it's very exciting, and the children are so happy to learn. But then because they also have to work with to help the parents, so they only can go to school within 2-3 hours a day. But then it's really, really good. So our Interactor and Rotarator are also working together with us and helping them. Next, please. So we are from the 1st of January 2021, we are forming like a group of study for the children. Next, please. So the problem is that in the village, most of the children are passive. What I mean by passive is only listening. So they are not communicative. So when the teacher asks what, for example, let's say 3 + 3, they are quiet. So it's our problem. Okay, next, please. And then also, there's they don't have any facilities, like because the children now is also not going to school because of the COVID. So we don't have any internet facilities. So it's really big problem and a big issue. Next. Okay, and they also, as I mentioned before, if the children, they don't have any birth certificate, they cannot go to school. So that's the end of it. Okay, next. So, but we are not giving up. So we are still doing our works to give the education to the children. So we are doing that regularly. Next, please. So this is the pictures of our Rotarators giving lecture, giving lesson to the children, even one by one, because we go to the village, from village to village. Next. Yeah, and then we are going to form 11 group of study and 11 villages in Kupang. So that's what we are planning. Next, please. Yes, thank you. So one group of students is going to be consist of 15 to 20 children, and most of them are girls compared to the boys. Yeah. Next. Okay, so then we also provide like a mobile library. So we go from place to places, and then the children can read. Next. Yeah, so thank you. So that's all. And then another part of Indonesia is a different thing, because we have a Rotarians in Solo, which has a printing company basically. So every, like this year from July, so he already sends about 40,000 books that we distributed all over in the district or all over in the area. It's really helpful. And then we have a commitment from him to support us at the basic education and literacy, and supporting with the books to educate. And even we are given the chance to write a book to be printed and the printing company. And so we are really excited about changing the children's lives, not only the children, but also illiterate women in Indonesia to be more literate. So we are working very hard, and I'm so happy that we know each other now, and I can learn from each other, and let's learn together and be stronger with the leadership of Julia. Thank you so much. Over back to you, Julia.
Thank you, Rotary Vana. Indeed, it was a fantastic intake I have picked up. I do not know about others. They must have picked up some other things. I found it a very interesting mobile library. That's very
Yes.
good. That's what we are trying in India. What our next participants from India, Rotarian Anju Gandotra from District 3250, she's gonna talk on that. So mobile library and the number of books what you have planned to distribute. And indeed, that is one sentence you said in the beginning, we are not giving up. That's the name of Rotarians. Rotarians who always look for a solutions if they have a passion to do service. Thank you very much, Rotarian Wanda. Now I request, friends, there is a one change in schedule because as I mentioned, that Rotarian women are multitasking. So every Rotarian woman is doing something else, and we cannot come in between fellowship and to do service project or to know more about literacy. Yes, I'm talking about our next participant from India who is representing India, Rotarian Anju Gandotra from District 3250. They are having a very vibrant fellowship today. In India, it's called a dandiya. They dance with the two sticks with the partner and they stride sticks with each other. She is looking awesome in Indian attire. So that's the reason her number was on 13th number. So I'm bringing up her because I don't want to hold her to enjoy that vibrant fellowship. So Rotarian Anju, over to you. India, from India.
You'll have to help me with the screen sharing.
Sure. Rotarian Renu from our IT team, please, or Rotarian Ruby, from India presentation, please.
Yes, ma'am. Just give me a second.
Yes, it's there.
Over to you.
Yeah. Hello, friends. Greetings from District 3250, India. We're going to talk about the status of India literacy and the role of Rotary to achieve 100% literacy by 2025. We were only 12% literate country in 1947 when we got our independence. We have come a long way and our current status is 74%. Since we have a very, very large population, it's going to be a Herculean task, but we're going to go all out to achieve it. Next slide, please. Under the basic education and the literacy system, we have private institutions and public institutions. In the private institution, basically a profit-making sector. But for the public institutions, they are run by the government and they are free of cost. And we follow the Right to Education Act. But due to lack of infrastructure, NGOs like Rotary have had to step in to help them. Next. Initiated by the World Rotary President Shekhar Mehta from India and past Rotary International Director Kamal Sanghvi, Rotary in India stepped in to bridge this gap by setting up RILM, which is the Rotary India Literacy Mission for total literacy and quality education. The TEACH program was launched with a complete and holistic approach to support the government schools. There are 5 verticals in this TEACH program, as you can see on the slide. Slide, please. This is our first vertical, which is T for teacher support. Under the TEACH vertical, we train and retrain the government teachers, and we also recognize and motivate them through the Nation Builders Award. Next. As of date, we have trained close to 2 lakh teachers and awarded around 31,000 of them by the Nation Builder Award. Next. Under the e-learning concept, we support the government schools by setting up the hardware and the software. And the content is mapped with the NCERT in English and the local languages from standard 1 to the 10th standard. So literally we covered the full school. Next slide. About 28,000 schools have benefited, impacting 20 lakh students and 45,000 teachers. So Rotary is really doing a lot to bridge the gap, but we still have a long way to go. Next slide, please. Our third vertical is A, for adult literacy. Adults comprise of around 25% of our population. And imparting functional literacy is important to achieve our goal of 100% literacy. About 88,000 adults have been touched through various local club level programs. We keep organizing different programs for them through Disha, Pathan, and other such small programs. Next slide, please. More than 1,500 women have benefited from skill development under Project Dignity, making them financially independent. Once women become financially independent, they can really do a lot. Next slide. Our next vertical is focused on child development. This program is also called Asha Kiran, which means ray of hope, and ray of hope for our children. Next slide. Children between the age group of 7 to 14 years who have never attended school or are dropouts are being sent back to school. Next slide. We have enrolled around 40,000 students under this program. And you can see these are all Rotarians standing at the back. Our last vertical is H for creating happy schools. We upgrade government schools to make them secure and happier places for children. These are two pictures. They are showing you the condition of the government schools before and the condition of the government schools after Rotary has upgraded them. Next slide, please. There are 9 components of happy schools. They are painted and well-maintained and secure buildings, adequate and functional separate toilets for boys and girls, hand washing stations, clean drinking water, well-equipped library, games and sports equipment, benches and desks for the children, well-maintained staff room, shoes and school bags for the students. And we encourage our Rotary clubs to ensure at least 5 elements to achieve the star status. Next, please. We have a very comprehensive and robust website for the Rotary India Literacy Mission. We are very hopeful that by 2025, we will be able to achieve the dream of our world leader, President Shekhar Mehta, 100% literate India. Thank you so much. Over to you, Julia.
Thank you, Rotarian Anjuji. Indeed, it was a very crisp presentation how Rotary is bridging the gap in India to make India 100% literate. You know, friends, I just noticed, even I didn't know that in 1947, we were just 12% literate. And in 74 years, that means until now, we are 74%. And what RI President Shekhar Mehta's dream is that by 2025, we have to become 100% literate. I think so, friends, from different countries, I believe that the components what Rotarian Anju has showed, we can, it's applicable in every country, just need to do up and down. If anybody wants to adopt this RILM approach, other presentation, Rotarian Anju is here with us. I can share her number, so she'll be in touch with you, or you can reach out to me, or just send us a mail. We are friends in so Rotarian Anjuji, I will add you in international group also. So anyone wants to reach out to you, they can reach out to you and you can just guide them about this thing. Thank you very much and enjoy your dandiya. We are getting envy from you, but you have to share pictures of your dandiya with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Now. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So now, friends, let's move on to our next coordinator from do we have PDG Shelley with us? Anju, can you spot her? Anju from Mauritius. Anju, PDG, is she with us? Okay, let's move on to Rotarian Rita Oleg from Malaysia. She is VD Group Coordinator from Malaysia. Rotarian Rita, over to you.
A very good evening to everyone. Putting this together, I'm very excited to see all of us working towards a literacy. Just give me a second, I'll share the screen. Okay. Julia, probably can you help me share the screen?
Sure, we'll do that.
Okay, just let me check it. Next, please. As everyone can see, literacy in Malaysia from 1980 to 2018, from 69.52, we have reached to 94.85. So that's a huge change in literacy in Malaysia. So we're looking at only targeting a group of 6 to 7% that we need to work on. So we're actually very good at it, very proud that Malaysia is at 94.85 literacy rate. Next, please. The few projects that we've been having for our in aid of basic literacy. Next, please, Julia. We've been working of donating school books. At this point of time, the major problem that we are having here is online classes. There are a lot of students that they do not have gadgets to actually join the online classes. Many of them don't have laptops or phones. And not only that, probably that data or the Wi-Fi to join classes. So here we are trying to give them the books so that they can at least, there's a teacher to guide them. They can, I'm sorry, yeah, okay, the teacher to guide them on the exams that we have this UPSR exams, like I would say a checkpoint exams. So these books will help them to answer questions of the checkpoint. Even if they can't join the online classes, they can still go through the syllabus. So what a few clubs are doing, they're trying to go to reach out to people to donate this exam papers and the books out. And for the online learning for students, what our clubs here in Malaysia, we are trying to do is a laptop a student. We are trying to collect all used laptop and donate it to the students of B40 category. A B40 means a category that is earning below 1,000 ringgit Malaysia. So we're trying to get, many of us, we are in this, what they call that, we have a lot of new gadgets coming out. So there are a lot of students who has got used laptops. We are trying to refurbish these laptops and donate it to students of B40 category. At least they can use these laptops for a good 2 or 3 years to go for the online classes. This project was launched last year, and we managed to collect close to 4,000 laptops, and it was given away to all the B40 group. Next, please. So these are the few pictures where the students were given the laptops. They were also given free Wi-Fi. So we managed to get Wi-Fi for them so that at least they can join the online classes. And what we have done is we have gone to villages where a few students can get together and use one laptop. So the one laptop is not only for the use of one student. We try to get at least 5 students so they can use the laptop together. Next, please. So yeah, I think for now, that's what we are trying to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rotarian Rita. It was wonderful to know that one project we learned, that to make a project of second-hand laptops. So it was really amazing to know that you have collected your district 4,000 second-hand laptops. It means a lot. So I think so huge round of applause for your district, the one who is doing such a wonderful project. And this is right. This is one of the way we can fill up the gap and provide this laptops to those underprivileged students who can study further online. Thank you very much, Rotarian Rita. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you, Julia.
Now I request another Anju, Rotarian Anju from Mauritius, our Mauritius coordinator of Viri Group. Rotarian Anju, over to you.
Thank you, Julia. So, I'm from District 9220 from Mauritius, which is a small island. And just to have some numbers, according to the UNESCO Mauritius, it has an adult literacy rate of 91.33%, while the male literacy rate is 93.36%, and for females is 89.37%. So here in Mauritius, the adult literacy rate is the percentage of people aged 15 and above who can both read and write with understanding of a short, simple statement about everyday life. So fortunately, the literacy rate in Mauritius has been increasing since years. And for all Mauritians, the access to school is free and it is compulsory. Besides, the government provides school kits and handbooks gratuitously in order to ensure education to all. And on top of that, languages have a very important place in the schools. So kids here, they learn at least eight languages, 8 tongues. So English, French, Hindi, Creole, Urdu, Arabic, Mandarin, and this is on account of the rich ethnical and cultural diversity here on our island. So this is, I'm sharing Rotary and Rotaract and even Interactors project because almost all of the projects has been done jointly with Rotary and Rotaract and even Interactors. So this one, it's an adult literacy IT course, which was done with the elderly. So as how to use mobile phone, how to use Bluetooth, how to use mobile setting. So these are becoming very important in day-to-day life. So this has been a course for around 3 weeks, and it was for the elderly. The adult basic literacy course, which has been done in Rodrigues. Rodrigues, it's a small island found near Mauritius, and again, it is for the elderly. Here, the Rotaract, jointly with a Rotary Club, they put a book nest in a shopping mall so as to exchange books and to promote reading culture. A book donation, which was conducted by Rotary and Rotaract clubs, the Rotaract clubs of Middlesex University, and in collaboration with the Rotaract club of Vaqua. We had another book donation, which was done by the Interact Club of Beaubassin-Rosil, the kids of Beaubassin-Rosil, and the books were donated to the special education needs. You can see that these children are handicapped, and they were given the books so as to during the literacy month. So this was about some projects that were conducted in Mauritius, and due to the COVID situation, it's very difficult right now to conduct projects, especially with children or to have gathering. And I just want to add that in the pipeline, we have a learning zone that started years back, and we are starting again. We are going to give a kickstart this month, and we also have a library and some book clubs so as to promote reading, because nowadays there is like kids are not reading books, but they are mostly on online, on TV, mobile phone, games, etc. So we are trying to inculcate the reading culture again to the youngsters. So this is all about literacy projects in Mauritius. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rotarian Anju. Another good thing I learned from you, and definitely we should work out in our country also. If we have free education to students, children, and compulsory, we in India, we can achieve our target of 100% literate. And another thing, your percentage in your country is quite impressive. Adult literacy is 91.33 as per UNESCO. That means a lot. That means if any country is literate, that percentage, we can go to another level of education. That's what Rotarian Anju mentioned, teaching them technology, how to transfer the data through Bluetooth, and having a reading corner in shopping malls. That means a lot, because if person can develop our reading books, it's gaining a lots of knowledge. Thank you very much, Rotarian Anju, for a wonderful presentation. Now I request our next coordinator, Rotary from Nigeria. So we have two participants from Nigeria, incoming governor from Nigeria, DGE Omotondo, and Rotarian, past president Rotarian Nugmen Uwa. I think so Uwa couldn't join because of technology issue. Do we have DGE Omotund with us? Can we find out from Nigeria? Or we can move to our next presentation in the meanwhile. Yes, we are here to our Roseanne, Rotarian Roseanne, our next very group coordinator from Reunion Island. So put your hands together, friends, and welcome Rotarian Roseanne. Roseanne, unmute yourself, please. And I request my IT team to put the spotlight on Rotarian Anju once again, because she's gonna help her in translation.
Yes, thank you, Anju, to read my my text, because my English spoken is very bad. Thank you, Anju.
Pleasure. Should I read it for you? Okay. So about 1,000. Can I?
Yes, Anju, go ahead.
Okay, I thought there was a presentation. About 120,000 Reunion Islanders are illiterate, or 23% of the territory's population, estimates the prefecture. On average, 21.4% of young people received on National Citizenship Day in Reunion Island have reading difficulties in 2020. Of these young people, 99.5% have very low reading skills or severe difficulties. Added to this, a new form of knowledge deficit, electronism, difficulty in mastering digital tools, a source of growing exclusion. In Reunion Island, illiteracy has changed at the same time as society and has several faces. Today's illiterate young people often suffer from family or housing problems. Their parents have usually encountered difficulties with school, and illiterate is not necessarily an ignorant. People who can read and write sometimes have big problems with comprehension. 21% of adults between the age of 16 and 65 who have been educated in France and overseas are illiterate, or 100,000 people. According to data from the Defense and Citizenship Day in 2015, were identified in a situation of illiteracy. That is 14.8% of young people. Fighting illiteracy means fighting and foremost acting against extreme poverty and offering all students the same chances of success by giving more to those who need it. It also means guaranteeing the mastery of fundamental knowledge to anchor the basic achievements and thus ensure their irreversibility by attacking at the root the academic difficulty before it settles. To combat social determinism and give the best chance to all students, from an early age, the Academy implements various national mechanisms. Support for the most vulnerable families, because we do not learn well on an empty stomach. In collaboration with the voluntary communities, school breakfasts are served to children who are deprived of them in order to offer them satisfactory learning conditions. Kindergarten, a language school, and a melting pot for the reduction of social inequalities, with the obligation to attend school at the age of 3. Its main priority is to strengthen the learning of a precise vocabulary and language structures, essential skills, the mastery of reading, and offers early schooling through reception systems from the age of 2 in co-education with parents. The reduction of class sizes in disadvantaged areas, the duplication of classes in priority education allows better supervision of students at the crucial moment of entry into reading and writing, contributing to the objective of 100% success in mastering the fundamentals. The development of tutoring, homework done, offers volunteer students the opportunity to do their homework at the college free of charge. A similar program is set up at the beginning of the school years for school children. The last one, a regular assessment to prevent academic difficulties, benchmark tests, positioning tests at the entrance to the second class, and the implementation of hours of consolidation in French and mathematics. The Academy has put in place a plan to prevent illiteracy. The actions relate, on the one hand, to the devices offered to students, and on the other hand, to the training of teachers. So the Réunion Island, they also have some academic priorities, and they are training in particular to the development of teaching of French, which is the official language, in a plurilingual context. The priority education, that is evolution of teaching practices, with a goal of 100% success, anticipation of students, linguistic fragilities, parenthood, which is very important. The participation of parents in the life of the school is one of the main levers for children's academic success. In terms of prevention and screening, several actions are carried out by the community. So concerning the early childhood, the maternal and child protection centers carry out annual health checks in kindergartens. On average, 11,000 children aged between 3 to 4 benefit from examination to detect language, visual and hearing disorders. Children with language or sensory disorders are referred to specialized doctors. In 2017, 14% of children were affected by language disorders, and 27% of school children had learning disabilities. The maternal and child protection centers have been participating since 2010 in the first page operation to raise awareness of reading from an early age. Thus, the maternal and child protection, as the departmental libraries, give a look to each child from their first year, accompanied by a letter to the parents, about 14,000 families concerned per year. The social services of the collectivity carry out individuals and collective action with families to accompany children in their schooling, and parents in their role in education and monitoring the schooling of their children. Concerning the young people and adults, action to relearn fundamental knowledge are organized for young people in the care of the academies of the DALO. And action to identify situations of illiteracy is carried out among the unemployed. Nearly 70,000 tests have been carried out and have shown that 17.6% of this category are confronted with illiteracy, and 37.4% need action to upgrade basic knowledge. In addition, within the framework of the Territorial Solidarity Pact, several agreements signed with the municipalities provide for actions that contribute to the fight against illiteracy. These include actions such as support in parenthood for parents of children and adolescent support. In 2013, the Club of Lausanne, Rotary Club of Saint-Denis, La Montagne, organized an international symposium on illiteracy, which was held over 2 days in Saint-Denis de la Réunion in partnership with the University of Réunion and the Réunion region. This symposium brought together illiteracy specialists from the islands of the Indian Ocean, that is Réunion Island, Mayotte, Madagascar, Seychelles, Comoros, Mauritius, Rodrigues, and in addition to France and Canada, India and Brazil, to take stock of illiteracy in each territory and implement actions according to the specificity of each country. To conclude, so the conclusion of this symposium are listed in a book entitled Literature to Prevent and Combat Situations of Illiteracy in the Indian Ocean, editions, prefaced by myself. So this was about literacy in Réunion Island. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrew, for his very, very good reading from my text. Thank you. It's very nice. Thank you.
It was a pleasure, Roseanne.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Rotarian Andrew. Thank you, Roseanne. It was a wonderful presentation. Again, for my own country, for India, I learned one more thing, which I'm gonna work out with leaders in this. Yes, we are already giving, you said very well in your presentation, that we do not learn on an empty stomach. No one can do that. So in school, yes, in government school, we are providing a midday meal to cover up in India adult literacy. Yes, if we can work out to give a food to adult also, so we can cover up the percentage in adult literacy also. So I'm feeling very proud that we are organizing this meeting and learning that how can we adopt inputs from other country and make our own country 100% literate. Another thing you talk in your presentation, that maximum illiteracy your country found in unemployment generation, and your country is working hard in that aspect also. So really, and the 14.8% in your country are illiterate, and experts from other countries, including India, are taking an active participation in your country. We are really proud and we are happy to have you with us as a very coordinator. Thank you very much, Roseanne. Thank you, Anju, once again.
Thank you.
So friends, we are coming closer to our next coordinators and end of this meeting. Now I would like to call our VIRI group coordinator from Seychelles, a country of beaches. Rotarian Angel, over to you.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm Angel from Seychelles District 9220. And our country is a small islands of 115 islands. And we have three main islands in Seychelles, which is Mahé, Praia and Ladik. And that's where the most population there are. It's about a total of 90,000 people in Seychelles, very quite small. And so Seychelles itself, in terms of literacy, we have free education for all policy, has earned recognition worldwide as a country is ranked as a top African nation with the best education system. The country is 69.3 points in terms of education by the World Education Forum. Seychelles also occupies 43rd position globally, ahead of countries like Ukraine, Hungary, Russia, and United Arab Emirates. That's according to our website. Seychelles also paved the way for free and compulsory education for all Seychellois as from 1978 onwards. In fact, Seychelles is only the African country that has been able to reach the feat of education for all, a goal set by the UNESCO. Nationally, the literacy rate is 97.2%. So in our club, we have two clubs. We have the Rotary Club Victoria. We have donated 40 tablets to the primary 1 and primary 2 class at one of the district primary school. The tablets was containing 36 different applications aimed of strengthening literacy and numeracy. The next slide is the pictures that we took. On that day, we had a privilege to receive our PDG. At that time, he was DG Manoj from Mauritius. And next slide, please. And the Rotary Club Victoria also in the month of September this year, we have donated 700 English Osborne Pictorial Dictionary to all schools on Seychelles, like Praia, Mahé, Praia, Ladik Islands, which include both government and private schools. We are targeting primary 5 and primary 6 in the aim of promoting the culture of reading in our country and to help students have access to dictionaries, which is important in their development. Last week, we have traveled to the other islands to donate the dictionaries. And you can see the pictures. The children were very happy to receive such dictionaries. And next, please. This also, I was accompanied by my daughter as well. And this picture is about the, we only not literacy, but we also donate recreational benches to the schools to help them in better, like during the recreation activities, they can go outside and have a sit and have lunch or the snacks. Next slide, please. The other club is the Rotary Club of Coco de Mer. They have educational books, exercise books, and other school materials to the foyer. It's an orphanage. They did that with the orphanage, and also they did English tuitions on a weekly basis with them. And as you can see the next slide, you can see them, the president was reading stories with the orphans, and they were always looking forward to reading good, nice, good. Next slide, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Angel, for a wonderful, brief presentation and very, less than 5 minutes, we have talked a lot. First, of course, tablets, laptops has become, I think so, in Rotary world, a prime project, whether it's a Brazil, whether Malaysia, even in India, your country, and we are seeing in other presentations, because this is the only way nowadays online education we can give to underprivileged students through this smartphones or tablets and laptops. Another thing was interesting in your presentation, that donation of dictionaries. That's a good concept. I liked it. Yes, teaching other languages is important, but giving dictionary to those students who cannot access Google or who do not know how to access Google to learn the meaning of one word, I am adopting this for my own project. I'm sure my other Rotarian friends will go for that. And another thing was that recreational benches. So they can do some extracurricular activities apart from going through the books. That was a good one. And yes, I would like to share with here that Viri India group has formed a separate literacy group. And there we are gonna start from next week, online English training for underprivileged students. So I request my international group also, they can form a literacy group, like Angel in your country, you're giving the English tuition classes. We can form and we can help each other country to teach them English classes through online. So this is the initiative our India group has taken, and we will talk more about this in our group. Thank you very much, Angel, for a brief presentation, how your country is working to make your country complete literate. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia, for letting me.
So now, friends, come too close to India. Yes, Sri Lanka. I request our Viri group coordinator from Sri Lanka, Rotarian Champa, to talk about her country and how Rotary is bridging the gap. Over to you, Champa.
Thank you, Julia, for giving me the opportunity to talk about the education and literacy in our country. Can I share the screen, please? Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can, Champa.
Yeah. So in our country, give me a second, there's something wrong. All right. So when you talk about the education structure in Sri Lanka, we have primary from grade 1 to 5. Primary starts with 5 years of age, then junior secondary, senior secondary, college, and that is tertiary. That is the education structure in Sri Lanka. In our country, the education is free. So we have 10,390 government schools which provide completely free education. Also with the textbooks to the students and uniforms to the school students. And that curriculum is offered and approved by the Ministry of Education. So we have the literacy rate about 92%, and 83% of total population had secondary education also, that is university education. And there are about 100 private schools with local curriculum, and about 200 more international schools which provide Cambridge or Excel curriculum. And this education in Sri Lanka, we have in all 3 languages, Sinhala, Tamil, and English. If a student is interested in studying in English medium, they have the facility of studying completely in English education from grade 6. So when we take about the ranking, compared to the developed countries, Sri Lanka has 98.1. I'm proud to say that our rank is really high when we compare with the developed countries. So we are developing more to match to the 21st century skills, as there are 12 abilities that today students need to succeed in their careers during the information age. That is critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, information literacy, that is ITC, media literacy, technology literacy, flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. So our aim, national education aim, is to make the next generation active contributor to the national development, effective and efficient employee or self-employee, an entrepreneur of or a person with entrepreneurial mindset, patriotic or citizen, good human, a member of a happy family. Those are the national educational aims. From when we take the Rotary side, we have started now, due to this pandemic situation, our schools were closed for nearly 2 years. Almost 2 years, the schools are closed. The students are studying online. So our Rotarians, they help the needy children with providing the laptops, tabs, and mobile phones for them to take part in these online school sessions. Other than that, now in Sri Lanka, more than 50% of the population, they have vaccine, over 30, and they have started the vaccination of over 20, and very soon they will start vaccination of all the school children. And the plan is to open schools in the month of November. So we have developed a project from Rotary district joined as this is a back to school. This is the back to school project. There we are planning to provide the needy schools. There are some poor schools in Sri Lanka. So far we have recognized about 400 schools, along with the we had a meeting with the Ministry of Education, the Rotarians and the Ministry of Education. There we have identified about 400 to 500 schools where the school children who are unable to get the face masks, then the hand sanitizers, those things which will be useful in this situation. So we are trying to provide this equipment to those schools. And also we have another project called I Pledge project. That is a campaign. There we use different, interactors, Rotractors, in Rotarians, then athletes, and the popular figures in the country to make an awareness of I Pledge campaign. Here we put a quote like which I have shared here. I pledge to avoid close contact when I am experiencing cough or fever. And there's another campaign, vaccination campaign, to encourage people to get vaccine. So within this short period of time, and due to the time constraint, I would like to thank the Viri group, especially Julia, for giving me the opportunity to talk about the education system and what Rotary is mainly doing to improve our education system within this period of time. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Rotarian Champa. Indeed, not lots of information we got from our neighbor country, and we had to give you opportunity to know what is the status of literacy in Sri Lanka. I'm sure many of our friends learned that the percentage of literate in your country is quite high. You're standing at number position in 11, if I'm not wrong, if I saw 10th or 11th. And the way you are teaching your students, children about how to fight with COVID. So I pledge, really, it's a good initiative. Apart from that, what I learned from your presentation, that You have defined very well traditional and new curriculum. And in 21st century, how one student can get a success in education. You don't have to only have a pen, pencil. You can have extraordinary mindset, and where this Rotary helps a student. So thank you very much, Champa, for letting us know where Sri Lanka is standing and how beautifully you all Rotarians are working to make your country 100% literate. Thank you. So now, friends, let's move on to our next coordinator from USA, DG Alka from District 6000. She has a quite busy schedule as she is running, she is a current governor. So with her, I invite Rotarian Carolyn, who is gonna present the status of literacy in USA and how Rotary is bridging that gap. Over to you, Alka and Carolyn.
I think Carolyn will be the best person to speak on behalf of our district, but definitely learned a lot today, and also sharing. We have some, she will speak first and I'll add on if we have not covered everything. Carolyn, may we ask you please to...
Carolyn, request you to switch on your video. Over to you, Carolyn. Carolyn, Alka, if you can, she's there now.
Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen, and otherwise I will punt to you.
I think their IT team has your...
I think I'll ask you to do it, sure. If you would, please.
IT team, over to you. Here we are, Carolyn, over to you. When you want to make a next slide, just let us know.
All right. I'm going to get out of this. All right. I do want to say hello from Iowa. Iowa is located in the central part of the United States. And I've really enjoyed listening to the reports. And I have to say, I appreciate those of you who can communicate in multiple languages. So these are some slides that I'd like to share. Ideally, if we go back to the previous one, thank you. Our ideal vision is that we would maximize every child's potential, and we measure literacy by how well the children are prepared for school and how whether they can read at or above grade level by the end of 3rd grade. The slide you're seeing now shows why we focus a lot on early literacy. You'll see on the left slide, that's what a newborn baby's brain connections look like. In the middle are what they look like at 6 months. And then on the right is what they have created by 2 years. So this shows that really more than 1 million new connections are formed every second in a baby's life, which makes an amazing opportunity for us. Some of the factors that affect that brain development of mental stimulation, and unfortunately, stress, trauma, and exposure to toxins are also a problem. Next slide, please. So this shows what the key windows are for building babies' brains. You can see the light green shows that the prime time for vision and hearing is in the newborn's early months. The red line shows that early language development happens in the 1st year. And the darker green line shows that cognitive and thinking skills are at their peak by age 2. And by age 3, 85% of brain neural connections are formed. That's the foundation for the rest of a child's life. Next slide, please. So one way to stimulate family communication is to give books. And it's important, and partly that's because it really expands vocabulary. And it's important that children have some books that they can see themselves in. You notice that this book is well loved by the chewed corner there. Next slide, please. This also is an important concept. We talk about we want all children to be reading at or above grade level by the end of 3rd grade or the beginning of 4th grade. And the reason for that is that many of the texts that children use rely on reading by the time they get to 4th grade. Next slide, please. So it is unfortunate that in Story County, which is where I live in Iowa, and actually in Iowa too, 1 in 4 children at the end of 3rd grade do not read proficiently. So these children are at serious risk of becoming a high school dropout, and students in families living with low incomes are really the furthest behind. There are a variety of ways that Rotarians and other community volunteers can promote literacy. So I'd like to spend the rest of my time sharing a few of these. And one is the example here. We can be reading buddies or tutors after school and in the summer. Next slide, please. Another way that Rotarians can help is to do story times. I took this picture just last week. This is a member of my club reading to children at a downtown farmer's market. Next slide, please. And Rotarians can give free age-appropriate books at community events. Many of the clubs in District 6000 do this, and you cannot, there is research that shows that children who have many are much more likely to be successful learners. And I really, my heart goes out to those of you who just don't have the ability to get a lot of books. Next slide, please. We also, another example of an event is that our Rotary Club joined with the public library and a preschool to start what we called Step Into Storybooks in 2009. And it has become an annual event. Families with young children come and do literacy related activities that give them ideas of what they can do at home. And every child, of course, takes a free book home. Next slide, please. Many of the clubs in District 6000 have created reading corners, and they put them in doctors' waiting rooms, human resource waiting rooms, food pantries, churches, other places. We look for places where families, especially families with low income, spend time. Another ideal thing is to have a reader in the reading corner, and this happened to be a Rotarian. Next slide, please. A program that is extremely, it's research-based, it's extremely powerful, is called Reach Out and Read. The concept has 3 things. One is doctors give books to babies at their checkups, their well child checkups, between 2 months and 5 years. So that's a lot of checkups. The second thing is, while they give those books, they encourage the parents to read at home. And the third is they have waiting rooms that are literacy rich. Next slide, please. When our schools closed during COVID, Rotary, our club, actually, you see the bags that the 2 children are holding. We filled bags with books. The school donated their buses, and we delivered bags to the children in their homes. That was really quite an exciting thing. But another way that Rotarians in District 6000 give books to children directly are using the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and some of them do the Dictionary Project. We also have gift books, not reading corners, but gift books that we give to preschools, food pantries, libraries, Habitat for Humanity homes, that sort of thing. Next slide, please. This is a little free library. Sometimes Rotarians have donated those and been sponsors for those little free libraries. And we do give a book in honor of each of our club speakers. Next slide, please. One of the things that District 6000 does is they have community grants. And our club has gotten a community grant every year since 2009. We don't do the same thing each year. Very often we pilot a project that then is adopted by a nonprofit in our community called Raising Readers in Story County. And many of us in our club wear several hats and are on the board of Raising Readers as well. I think we really have in District 6000 encouraged our clubs to partner with their communities. And next slide, please. This just illustrates we are a member of the National Grade Level Reading Campaign. You can see Iowa is in the center of that, and there are participants in all of the states. This is a really good project where we learn from each other how to promote literacy. Next slide, please. And lastly, I'd just like to leave you with the, this is the District 6000 website, the middle there, and the bottom on that website in the left column is the literacy promotion materials that we have shared in our district and are available free to download for all of you. We created this literacy toolkit, which outlines the various programs that we have, and we certainly would be very happy to share with anyone. Thank you very much. Back to Elke.
Thank you, Carolyn. And I think she has said everything so well. There's not much more to add. She is the expert in our district on literacy, and she has also received many, many awards from RI, and she has dedicated her life for promoting literacy. So thank you, Carolyn, so much.
Thank you, Rotarian Carolyn. Wonderful. So we can make out how people in United States are fond of reading. Raising readers. This is what I learned today. That and another thing, literacy toolkit. That's a wonderful names you have given. And yes, this reading corners, I'm getting a common again in other countries also. I think so in India, Rotarian friends in India, we should adopt this in the mall, where we have a playground for corners for kids. We should develop or make our reading corners as well. And yes, Carolyn, it was interesting to know brain development over time. In India, like in your presentation, it was mentioned from newborn to 6 months and 2 years. Yes, in India also, and I'm sure in other countries as well. In India, we believe the moment child comes in the mother wombs, we try to give holy books to mother, and we put a good pictures around. Yes, you said well, because the neurons and cells, it's start developing that time. And another thing you mentioned in your presentation, it was up to the age of 5 years, how children adopt at homely atmosphere. That is a parental health, parenting behavior is there. And we don't pay attention to all this thing. If we want our kids get educated or they get literate, we should make an atmosphere in our home like this. They can read out the mental reading, stress, trauma, expressions. If all ladies at your home, if you pay attention to your newborn babies or when the child is growing, pay attention to the child brain development. In even our cluster area or our adopted government schools, we are teaching them through books. If we start teaching through extracurricular activities and pay attention what we are giving them, rather than, and then it was a very good program. I liked it, the stars, because if you want to develop artist or a genius from a child, we should go for not only for educational books, we can go for a stars full form is singing, talking, and reading for success. I adopted myself. Now I'm gonna read myself every day. And you know, all friends, in our spiritual or when we go to our life management coaches, they say if you wanna get success in every day, every morning, you read one paragraph. Same applies to kids also. So this was a wonderful presentation. And as you know, everybody looks towards Europe and United States. And good to know the inside of United States, how their kids are brilliant and doing well. So if we can add these tricks also in our children, we will do more good. Thank you very much, Alka. Thank you very much, Caroline, for a wonderful presentation. Friends, last but not the least, I request our DG Dolly representative from Viri Group Coordinator from Singapore and Malaysia. We have Charter President Raja Noor with us, who is gonna talk about her country. Over to you, CP Raja.
Oh, hello, Julia. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you know, my battery is very flat. Anytime it goes off. But anyway, thank you for an opportunity to give me a time to speak on our side of the country. Now, most of the coordinator have spoken what we are doing. We have the mobile library. We have the library built in the rural areas. And now we are undertaking to do like what our US counterpart have done, started from young. We don't start by learning, but by playing and learn at the same time. So I think most of my sisters from all over the world have already said what we have done on our part here, and it's a good sharing, which I think we can implement to our place. Now, the next thing that we are doing now, we are focusing on literacy, on reading and writing, but we forgot, especially now during the pandemic, we are forced to our throat to learn IT literacy, which I'm sure all of us got a shock when we have the pandemic and we have to go through visual. We are not prepared with all these, and the children are not prepared with the tools. They are not ready with the computer, especially the poor people, the rural people. They don't have the gadget, and yet they are being forced to learn online. How can they learn online when they don't have the tools to go through? This is what we are suffering now. But after a year and nearly 2 years, we are gradually learning how to cope with it. But still, we are now behind time. According to United Nations, half, okay, it's 1.2 billion university students from kindy to university suffered. And now 800 millions are behind in their learning process. And their standard is now way, way below, because you are not having direct physical communication, but through visual, which is not as powerful. When you talk face to face, when you can touch, you can, you know, give the expression, oh, you are good, or you are, you know, you need to improve. Through visual, the power of concentration is lacking. They can do anything, and yet, you know, you think they are listening to you. This is the problem that we are facing now. I think all over, not only in Singapore, in Brunei, in Malaysia, but I think all over the world, we have this problem. So I think as a Rotarian, we must try now, the pandemic is going down, try to sort of improve the education, because by education, we will upgrade their lifestyle. They will break from the cycle of poverty. And especially the woman, you know, the woman, they are forced most of them having basic education, they are not IT literacy, and they are being forced, oh, you have to have this gadget when you buy online. Now, how many of us buy online before? Only now, when we have this pandemic, we can't go out, then we buy online. We force ourselves to learn. Well, we are lucky because we have a basic education, but how about those who don't have a basic education to start off? So now we have to look into this, how to overcome and how to make it better for the woman, especially because women are the one who teach the children at home, not the father. That's my part, Julia. Thank you.
Thank you, CP Raja. You did a wonderful that without showing a presentation, you expressed that how Rotary can bridge the gap after this, in this moment when we are overcoming this pandemic period. And another good thing, you talk about mobile library in rural area. If we can provide this, so I'm sure Rotarians, Rotarians are gonna be a great, they're gonna be a great help for all those underprivileged children, those who cannot neither afford on gadgets nor afford books. So this will be a great platform for them. So please, Rotarians, we can add this also, mobile library. So thank you very much, CP Raja, for talking on this. On this, friends, we have come to end. It's such a long meeting, but we learned lots of good things and new projects so we can adopt in our literacy program to improve this, how Rotary connect this. See, this is how we our title serve the purpose, Rotary uniting the world. We are here from 16, 17 countries who talked about literacy in their country and what they are doing, especially their clubs. So indeed, it was a wonderful evening for me. For vote of thanks, I invite Rotarian Anju from Mauritius to deliver a formal vote of thanks, please.
Thank you, Julia. Good evening again. So I would start by saying that once a great man whispered, feeling thankfulness and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. So today we have been very lucky to travel all over the globe in like 3 hours just to know what are we doing all over the world. So to promote literacy. And so I would like to seize this opportunity to extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all presenters from all over the globe for gracing for gracing our monthly meeting, Rotary Uniting the World in Literacy. We had an insightful overview of how Rotary is promoting and contributing to literacy all over the world amongst elderly and our youngsters. Thank you for sharing such laudable projects. And I would also like to express our sincere sense of appreciation to all Rotarians present today in our meeting, and looking forward to see you, of course, in our next meeting. I cannot thank everyone enough, and especially the coordinators for their involvement and their contribution to the success of today's meeting. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our thanks to the logistic team for their usual contribution and their support. Once again, I would like to thank everyone for making today's meeting such a success. On this, I wish you a pious Navratri and a wonderful weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to just to unmute yourself and let's give a big round of applause to us. Let's unmute ourselves.
I request our IT team to unmute everyone now.
Let's